are not merely a passive observer of life, but the active creator of your destiny. Consider for a moment the power of your imagination. It is the most magnificent gift bestowed upon humanity. Yet so few truly understand its potential. Your imagination is not some fanciful daydreaming tool. It is the very workshop wherein you forge the reality you desire. When you engage in inner conversations that align with your deepest desires, you are, in essence, planting the seeds of your future experiences. Now let us delve deeper into the art of speaking to yourself in a way that attracts all you desire. The first step is to recognize that your consciousness is the only reality. All that you perceive in the outer world is but a shadow, a reflection of your inner state of being. Therefore, to change your world, you must first change your consciousness. Begin by identifying the desire that burns within your heart. What is it that you truly want to experience in this life? Is it abundance, love, success, or perhaps a sense of profound inner peace? Whatever it may be, hold that desire in your mind's eye and become the focal point of your inner conversations. Once you have clarity on your desire, you must learn to speak to yourself as though your wish has already been fulfilled. This, my friends, is the crux of the matter. Your inner conversations must reflect the state of having already attained your desire, not the state of wanting or lacking. For instance, if your desire is financial abundance, your inner dialogue should not be, "I wish I had more money," or "When will I ever be financially secure?" Such conversations only reinforce the state of lack and want. Instead, speak to yourself in this way: "I am so grateful for the abundance that flows into my life effortlessly. My financial security brings me peace and allows me to bless others." Do you see the difference? In the first instance, you are speaking from a place of absence, whereas in the second, you are embodying the consciousness of already having received your desire. This shift in your inner conversation is nothing short of miraculous in its effects. Now, some of you may be thinking, "But Neville, isn't this just self-deception? How can I speak of having something when my current reality shows me otherwise?" To this, I say you must understand the true nature of time and reality. The future is not some distant point you are moving towards. It is a present possibility you are choosing now through your state of consciousness. When you engage in these new inner conversations, you are not denying your present circumstances. Rather, you are choosing to align your consciousness with the version of reality you wish to experience. Remember, your outer world must conform to your inner conversations. It has no choice in the matter. This is law. Let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this point. There was a time when I desired to travel to Barbados, my homeland, but lacked the means to do so. Instead of dwelling on my inability to make the journey, I began to engage in inner conversations as though I were already there. I would walk the familiar streets in my imagination, feel the warm Caribbean breeze on my skin, and hear the voices of loved ones welcoming me home. I persisted in this inner conversation, speaking to myself as though my desire had already been fulfilled. And do you know what happened? Within a matter of weeks, against all apparent odds, I received an invitation from my family, complete with the means to make the journey. The outer world had no choice but to reshape itself to match my inner conversation. This, my dear friends, is the power that lies within you. It is not reserved for a select few. It is your birthright as a creative being. You have been given dominion over all things through your imagination and your ability to choose your inner conversations. Now let us address an important aspect of this practice: persistence. Changing your inner conversations is not a matter of repeating affirmations a few times and then wondering why your world hasn't transformed overnight. It requires a complete revision of your habitual thought patterns and the way you speak to yourself throughout your day. You must persist in your new inner conversations until they become your natural way of thinking. This may take days, weeks, or even months, depending on how deeply ingrained your old patterns of thought are. But I assure you, the rewards of this practice are beyond measure. As you persist in speaking to yourself in alignment with your desires, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your outer world. Opportunities may arise that were not there before. People may respond to you differently. You may find yourself inspired to take actions that lead you closer to the fulfillment of your desire. These are all signs that your new inner conversations are taking root and beginning to reshape your reality. Do not be discouraged if the full manifestation of your desire does not appear immediately. Remember, the outer world may take time to fully reflect your inner changes, but be assured that it must and will conform to your new state of consciousness. Another crucial aspect of speaking to yourself in this way is the feeling associated with your inner conversations. It is not enough to merely repeat words in your mind. You must feel the reality of what you are saying. Emotion is the secret ingredient that gives life to your inner conversations and accelerates their manifestation in the outer world. When you speak to yourself as though your desire is fulfilled, allow yourself to feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of accomplishment that would accompany the realization of your wish. These feelings are the prayer, the bridge between your inner world and the outer reality you seek to create. Let me emphasize this point: feeling is the secret. Your emotions are the language of your subconscious mind, and it is through your subconscious that the creative power within you operates. When you combine your carefully chosen inner conversations with the corresponding emotions, you create an irresistible force that must externalize itself in your world. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. Should you simply engage in these inner conversations and wait for your world to change? The answer is both yes and no. Yes, in the sense that your primary focus should be on maintaining the consciousness of your wish fulfilled through your inner conversations. And no, because inspired action is often a natural consequence of this new state of consciousness. As you persist in speaking to yourself in alignment with your desires, you may find yourself naturally inclined to take certain actions. These actions will not feel forced or burdensome. They will arise spontaneously from your new state of being. Trust these impulses and act upon them, for they are the bridge between your inner world and your outer reality. Remember, the actions themselves do not create your desire. They are simply the means through which your desire manifests. The true creative power lies in your consciousness, in the way you speak to yourself, and the state of being you choose to embody. Let us now address a common concern that many face when beginning this practice: the apparent contradiction between their inner conversations and their current circumstances. It is natural for doubt to arise when you look at your world and see no evidence of your desire. But I urge you, do not give in to these doubts. Your current circumstances are nothing more than the fruit of your past thoughts and inner conversations. They have no power to dictate your future unless you grant them that power through your continued attention and belief. Instead of being swayed by what your senses show you, remain faithful to your inner conversations that align with your desire. This faithfulness to your inner conversations, despite contradictory evidence in the outer world, is what I call living in the end. It is the art of inhabiting the state of consciousness where your wish is already fulfilled, regardless of appearances. This unwavering faith in the reality of your inner world is what transforms it into your outer experience. As you practice speaking to yourself in this new way, you may encounter resistance from your habitual patterns of thought. Old doubts and fears may surface, attempting to pull you back into your former state of consciousness. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts or berate yourself for having them. Instead, gently but firmly return to your new inner conversations. Think of it as training a puppy. When the puppy wanders off, you don't punish it. You simply bring it back to where you want it to be. Treat your mind with the same patience and persistence. Each time you catch yourself engaging in inner talk that contradicts your desire, lovingly guide your thoughts back to the conversations that align with your wish fulfilled. This practice of vigilance over your inner conversations is not about forcing positive thinking or suppressing negative emotions. It is about consciously choosing the state of consciousness you wish to inhabit. It is about recognizing your power as the operant power in your reality and using that power wisely through your chosen inner conversations. As you become more adept at maintaining these new inner conversations, you will find that your outer world begins to mirror your inner state with increasing fidelity. The people in your life may respond to you differently, reflecting back to you the new concept you hold of yourself. Circumstances may align in ways that support the fulfillment of your desire. Synchronicities may occur that seem almost magical in their perfect timing. These outer changes are not coincidences or strokes of luck. They are the natural and inevitable result of your shifted consciousness made manifest through your persistent inner conversations. Your world has no choice but to reflect back to you the state you have chosen to occupy in your imagination. Now let us address an important point: the nature of time in relation to the manifestation of your desires. In the world of Caesar, time appears to be a linear progression from past to future. But in the realm of imagination, where all creation takes place, time is fluid and malleable. When you engage in inner conversations that align with your desire, you are, in essence, collapsing time. You are bringing the future state you desire into your present moment experience. This is why it is so crucial to speak to yourself as to speak yourself, as though his wish is already fulfilled, not as something that will happen in some distant future. By doing so, you are not merely affirming a future possibility, you are claiming a present reality in your consciousness. And it is this present reality in consciousness that becomes the seed of your future experience in the world of Caesar. This understanding of time and consciousness liberates you from the tyranny of waiting. You no longer need to anxiously anticipate the fulfillment of your desire, for in your inner conversations, it is already accomplished. This state of calm assurance, of knowing that what you desire is already yours in consciousness, is incredibly powerful in accelerating the manifestation of your desire in the outer world. As you practice speaking to yourself in this new way, you may find that your entire perception of reality begins to shift. You may start to see the world not as a solid, unchangeable entity, but as a fluid, responsive mirror of your own consciousness. This shift in perception is profoundly liberating, for it places the power to shape your life experience firmly in your own hands. You begin to understand that every person and every circumstance in your life is there to play a role in the grand drama of your consciousness. They are not obstacles to be overcome or separate entities acting independently of your desires. Rather, they are aspects of yourself, reflections of your inner state, perfectly positioned to aid in the manifestation of your true reality. This understanding leads to a profound sense of peace and empowerment. No longer do you see yourself as a victim of circumstances or at the mercy of external forces. Instead, you recognize yourself as the author of your life story, crafting your reality through the power of your inner conversations. As you continue to speak to yourself in alignment with your desires, you may notice another interesting phenomenon. Your desires themselves may begin to evolve and refine. As you experience the fulfillment of one desire, you may find that new, higher aspirations take its place. This is the natural progression of spiritual growth and expansion. Do not be alarmed by this evolution of your desires. It is a sign that you are aligning more closely with your true self, with the infinite potential that lies within you. Continue to apply the same principle of inner conversation to these new desires, always speaking to yourself from the state of wish fulfilled. Now let us address a question that may have arisen in your minds. What about the desires of others? How do my inner conversations affect those around me? This is a profound inquiry that touches upon the interconnected nature of consciousness. Remember, the entire world you perceive is a reflection of your own consciousness. Therefore, the people in your life with their apparent separate desires and wills are ultimately playing roles in the drama of your consciousness. As you shift your inner conversations and thereby your state of being, you will find that others naturally adjust to reflect your new state. This does not mean you are controlling or manipulating others. Rather, you are experiencing different aspects of yourself, different states of consciousness, played out in the people and circumstances of your life. As you speak to yourself in new ways, embodying the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, you will find that others naturally conform to support this new state. This understanding releases you from any sense of guilt or fear about imposing your will on others. You are not changing them. You are changing yourself. And as you change, your experience of the entire world, including the people in it, changes to match your new state of consciousness. Let us now explore another crucial aspect of speaking to yourself in a way that attracts all you desire: gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite social convention. It is a powerful creative force. When you speak to yourself with gratitude, as though you have already received your heart's desire, you align yourself with the very frequency of fulfillment. Incorporate gratitude into your inner conversations, not as a technique to get what you want, but as a genuine expression of appreciation for what you know is already yours in consciousness. Speak to yourself with phrases like, "I am so thankful for the abundance that flows into my life effortlessly," or "I am grateful for the perfect health and vitality I enjoy every day." This attitude of gratitude creates a receptive state of consciousness, opening you up to receive the good that is already yours. It aligns you with the natural flow of life's abundance and accelerates the manifestation of your desires in the outer world. As you practice speaking to yourself in this new way with gratitude and the assumption of your wish fulfilled, you may encounter moments of doubt or impatience. This is natural, especially when your outer world has not yet fully conformed to your new inner state. In these moments, it is crucial to remember that your inner conversations are the cause and the outer world is the effect. Do not make the mistake of looking to the outer world for evidence before you believe in the reality of your inner conversations. This is backwards and will only perpetuate the old state you are seeking to change. Instead, persist in your new inner conversations regardless of appearances. Your faith in the reality of your inner world is what gives it the power to reshape your outer experience. Think of it this way. Your inner conversations are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Just as a gardener doesn't dig up the seeds every day to check if they're growing, you must not constantly question or doubt the efficacy of your inner conversations. Trust in the law of your own being, knowing that what you plant in consciousness must inevitably bear fruit in your experience. This brings us to another important point: the role of detachment in the process of manifestation. While it may seem paradoxical, cultivating a sense of detachment from the outcome can actually accelerate the realization of your desire. This detachment comes from the deep knowing that what you desire is already yours in consciousness. When you truly embody the state of your wish fulfilled in your inner conversations, you no longer feel the anxious need to make it happen. You are able to relax into the certainty that your outer world must and will conform to your inner state. This relaxation, this letting go, allows the creative forces of the universe to work on your behalf without the interference of doubt or anxiety. Incorporate this sense of relaxed detachment into your inner conversations. Speak to yourself as someone who is calmly certain of their good, not as someone desperately trying to make something happen. This calm assurance is incredibly powerful in bringing about the manifestation of your desires. As you continue to practice speaking to yourself in this new way, you may find that your entire concept of who you are begins to shift. You start to recognize yourself not as a limited, physical being subject to the whims of fate, but as a spiritual being with infinite potential, crafting your reality through the power of your consciousness. This expanded sense of self brings with it a profound sense of responsibility. You begin to realize that every thought, every inner conversation is a creative act. This realization may cause you to become more mindful of the way you speak to yourself, not out of fear, but out of a deep respect for your creative power. Embrace this responsibility with joy, knowing that it comes hand in hand with the power to shape your life according to your highest aspirations. Let your inner conversations reflect the best of who you are and who you wish to become. Speak to yourself as the person who has already achieved all that you desire, who embodies all the qualities you admire. As you do this, you may find that your desires themselves begin to elevate. No longer content with merely accumulating material possessions or achieving worldly success, you may find yourself drawn to higher aspirations. Your inner conversations may begin to reflect a desire for spiritual growth, for making a positive impact on the world, for expressing your unique gifts in service to others. This evolution of your desires is a natural part of the journey of consciousness. As you experience the fulfillment of your initial desires, you naturally expand into greater expressions of your true self. Embrace this growth and continue to apply the principle of speaking to yourself from the state of wish fulfilled, no matter how lofty your aspirations may become. As we draw this discussion to a close, I want to emphasize once more the incredible power that lies within you. The way you speak to yourself, the inner conversations you entertain, are the very fabric from which your reality is woven. Choose these conversations wisely with intention and awareness, knowing that they are shaping your world in every moment. Remember, persistence is key. The transformation of your outer world may not happen overnight, but if you remain faithful to your new inner conversations, it must and will occur. Trust in the law of your own being, in the creative power of your consciousness, and know that as you speak to yourself in alignment with your desires, you are setting in motion forces that will move heaven and earth to bring about their fulfillment. Go forth now, my dear friends, and begin to speak to yourself in this new way. Embrace the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, live from the end, and watch in wonder as your world transforms to match your inner state. You are the operant power in your reality, the author of your life story. Speak to yourself accordingly and attract all that you desire.